Hi, in this video I will show how to do the GPU pass-through. So without wasting time, let's get straight to the point. Oh yes, before we start, I wanted to say that this video is more suitable for those who have an Intel or AMD GPU, with an NVIDIA or AMD GPU together. But if you have a system completely with two NVIDIA GPUs, it could be a big problem, because let's say the NVIDIA driver will try in a quite forced and repetitive way to take over the GPU, which will be in use by another driver, kernel module. It's this, but not always. It could block or crash the whole PC, so it will have to forcibly shut down your PC and reboot and hope it will work this time. That's why it's better to have one GPU, AMD plus NVIDIA or Intel plus NVIDIA. So now let's get started, for real. BIOS setup. So first, you have to enter the BIOS. The button to enter it, you can look for it on the internet. So now go into the BIOS, enable the option VTD if you are Intel user, or if AMD, enable the AMD VI. Installation. Now the first thing we're going to go to make sure that grub is visible, this because we say just for the talk before, that if everything freezes up, at least you can access the recovery and fix. Another thing, this file that contains everything you need, is in the link in the description of this video. Here you have to edit the grub and put a hash where it says grub timeout style, and change the 0 of grub timeout to like 30, which will then be 30 seconds, and save and update the grub. Now, you have to choose if you want to use only QEMU from the terminal, or if you want to use QEMU plus Virt-Manager. Virt-Manager will give you a UI, so it will be much easier to configure. However, if you use it like virtual display and later an external one knows that there will be a bug, and to use the external display you will have to disable virtual graphics, and consequently assign the mouse and the keyboard directly to the VM, while this bug does not exist if you use QEMU from the terminal with GTK, but it will be much more difficult to configure QEMU from the terminal, so the choice is yours. If you like the terminal and vice versa, install only QEMU. If instead you for convenience and speed and configuring, install QEMU plus Virt-Manager. Once one of them is installed, you need to run the command to add the user to libvirt, and then reboot the system. Now, I'll explain this part to you a little. This part is made for those who have an Intel or AMD GPU with NVIDIA GPU. Now if you have a completely NVIDIA system, i.e. you have two NVIDIA GPUs and one will be for the display, or if the GPU to pass is an AMD, then skip this part. But if you are a user like me, so you have an Intel or AMD GPU and the GPU to pass is an NVIDIA GPU as in my case, then follow this part. In this part we will uninstall the NVIDIA drivers, and install the open source ones, then we will blacklist them so that the GPU will be bare, and can then be used by any other driver or kernel module. After doing this, without wasting time, talking and showing too much, we will use this program which will perform all the processes for GPU pass-through. After downloading and extracting the file, you have to install these following packages to use for this program. After installing it configured and so on at the end of everything you will have to reboot your system, and after that you can add your GPU to pass to the VM. So here you now need to add your GPU and of course your GPU audio controller, and very simple to figure out who's who. Creation VM. So, after all this mess, it's time to create the virtual machine. First I will show the users who have chosen only QEMU, therefore only from the terminal. If you have chosen with Virt-Manager, skip this part. So I designed this video, especially for Windows 11. So we are going to download the Windows 11 ISO image. After downloading the ISO, for the script that I have prepared, you will have to rename the ISO to Windows 11.ISO, or if you want you can change the name as you like, but then you will have to modify the script. Now we are going to create the VM memory. In this case, if you want you can rename Windows.IMG to your liking, and change the 80G, which means 80 GB to your liking, or otherwise leave it as it is. Now instead we should see the ID, in short a code that identifies the GPU and the GPU audio controller. These are my IDs, the one ending with .0 is the GPU while the one with .1 is the audio controller, so just read the names to understand. You have to put the two IDs in this part of the script, where it says multifunction equals on you have to put the GPU ID, while the one further down you have to put the GPU audio controller ID. if you want you can download the ISO image of the drivers, which you will need after you have installed Windows 11. By the time this video is released, there will be new versions of the ISO image. I recommend downloading the latest one. So now let's talk about the configuration. Here KVM is enabled, the machine is a Q35IE, more recent and made more for Windows 11. I put 12 GB of RAM. Change according to your system or for what you want to do. After that output 12 processor cores. That is, 12 cores, 1 socket, which means 1 processor, and 1 thread for each core. If you had like 24 cores you could use 2 threads for example. In short, configured according to your system and needs. This part is the part that will ensure that we use a UEFI BIOS with the addition of Secure Boot. This other part here will ensure that we have a TPM 2.0 module to be able to proceed with the installation of Windows 11. Then here we have the internal memory, in short the main one. I configured it as in where it says file equals change it if necessary. Then here I put a network card, then an audio system which if for you in case the VM does not starts. Install Pulse Audio. Then here we have the fundamental part for the GPU pass-through. Be sure to check if ID corresponds to what I was talking about before, and then we have the Virt-Manager virtual GPU, the GTK display with OpenGL acceleration, and finally the CD-ROM, that if necessary change the name and path. This part checks if the TPM directory exists. If it does not exist it creates a new one, and executes the following command to ensure that the TPM is in use and function. Now copy the entire script to the CD-ROM, then open your text editor, paste the script and modify it if you need. Save it with a name of your choice, but in the end it must be sh, and you must place it next to the ISO file Windows 11 and storage file. After saving it with the script, click on Properties and activate the option, Executable as a program. As you can see everything works. I'll speed everything up a bit to see if we can proceed with the installation. As you can see we can proceed with the installation, so without wasting time we now move on to Virt-Manager, which is much simpler. Simply click on Browse Local and then search for the Windows 11 ISO file and select it, and continue with the configuration. Configure based on your computer and preferences. After you are almost done configuring, click at the end, Customize configuration before install. The most important thing here is that the BIOS is UEFI, more precisely the one with Secure Boot, but if you want a system other than Windows, then choose the one that ends with 4M.FD without MS or SecBoot. Now click on Add Hardware, and then on PCI host device, and you have to select an Azure GPU, and GPU audio controller, and after that try to start the virtual machine. didn't know that I had to reinstall Virt, and this is because I already had it installed. Then I installed things that I showed for you. Having broken it, I couldn't do the 3D acceleration of the virtual video card, but then I fixed. If you have the same error as in my case, I will leave in the file how to fix it. It is very simple and quick to fix. If for some reason the installation says that you don't have the requirements to continue, and because I forgot to tell you to change the DPM, put it on emulated, choose CRB, version 2.0, and then try again. But normally it puts it automatically. After finishing the installation of Windows 11, you need to install the Virt-IO drivers. You can download it from Windows 11 itself and then mount the ISO, or you can mount it directly in the virtual machine configuration. Now obviously you will have to install the drivers for your video card. Bugs. Now that we're done installing and doing everything, we need to seriously talk about the bugs. The first bug is that not for all Virt-Manager and QEMU games they will see that you are playing a game, and then there will be a problem like this with the mouse, and if you play like GTA 5, and change resolution, it will not change the aspect ratio. Another very serious bug is that if you use virtual graphics with GTK or with Virt-Manager, you will have very high latency in rendering, and therefore a lot of lag, and you will have very few FPS, and it will be a stress for you, a very stressful experience. So to fix this bug, 1, you will need an external secondary display. If you use QEMU from terminal, go to Windows 11 settings and select Show Only on 2. If you don't have a secondary display monitor, then you will have to
suffer.
While for Virt-Manager, the matter is quite different. We should disable the virtual graphics, therefore, putting video on none, then directly assign an external keyboard and a mouse. But by doing this, if you want to use Linux at the same time, you will then need a secondary external keyboard and a secondary mouse. This problem does not exist with QEMU from the terminal, and your setup will look like hell, especially if you have a laptop like me. Now that I've told you how to fix this problem, I think we can finally proceed with the tests. Gaming test. Well guys, I think the time has finally come. It's time for some gaming. Game number 1. Grand Theft Auto 5. As you can see, I put the graphics almost at maximum. To start, let's go and do a mission, and then see how the GPU behaves in traffic.
Yeah, look, man. Look, we've been working together for about a few months now, right?
But I'm one loud, dramatic brass. What you own, homie? Crazy, greedy, shoot a motherfucker in the back type motherfucker. And you love me for it, nigga.
Yeah, that's right, homie. Nothing but love.
That Simeon a funny dude, though. It's gonna be a shame when we get to book his ass and jack him for all this shit.
What the fuck you talking about? You're a psychotic motherfucker.
The bike should be in one of the lockups down here.
Should be the story of your life, asshole.
Shit, man. Play it cool.
Yeah, that's right. Keep it moving, bitch.
I don't like this shit one bit.
Amigos! Hola, S.A. So you trying to creep up in here, man?
Yeah? You saw this motherfucker?
Oh, shit! Vamos! Fucking die! Come on down, everybody! Come on down!
Hey, nigga, I would've just got my ass beat over.
Take the bike and meet me at the car wash round the way.
Man, I can't hang with your ass for a while, bro. Psychopath. You finally fucking lost.
Game number 2. Asphalt 9 Legends. As you can see, all the options are maxed out, so now without wasting time, let's have a race. 3. Need for Speed Most Wanted 2013. It's like always, even in this game I maximize the settings. Ending. The games were perhaps not the most demanding, but to give you a rough idea, this is how it will be with GPU Passthrough, and remember everything I showed you in this video, it's below in the description. In case of questions, problems or anything, write to me in the comments of this video. If you've watched up to this point, thank you so much, I highly recommend it. Subscribe to my channel, leave a like, comment if you want. And most importantly, after many hours of editing, I wish you good luck in making this Frankenstein work. Goodbye, have a good day.